The man sits hunched beside a small sign that simply says "Please help." Crowds pass by slowly and some people look exhausted or collapse nearby. Torn tents stretch in long rows surrounded by trash and broken belongings. This is not a hidden corner of the city like many people assume. These scenes are no longer rare across the United States today. They repeat every night in cities nationwide, even in wealthy urban areas. America is often called the world's most developed nation. Yet these scenes exist openly within its cities. Recent data shows over 770,000 people lacked stable housing one night. Even more surprising, many of them have jobs and daily routines. They are working people who simply lack a permanent place to live. When tent cities become normal parts of cities, a deeper question appears. The question is no longer who they are. The question becomes why this situation is accepted. Today we explore the warning signs to understand how this became normal. Let us begin by examining how these places actually look. When people hear the word slum, they imagine crowded tin roofs and muddy streets. In America, slums often look very different from expectations. They sit beneath tech billboards and beside luxury buildings. They exist in the heart of the most expensive cities. Tents are packed together with a strange but stable order. They are arranged carefully to avoid disturbing the surrounding city. Buses pass by and no one stops or looks closely. At first glance, it feels temporary and easy to ignore. But staying longer reveals this is no short-term situation. These tent areas have no official names or maps. Yet they have existed long enough to form daily routines. In the morning, blankets are folded carefully. At noon, someone charges a phone using a public outlet. At night, tents move closer together for safety. What is shocking is not poverty alone. It is how stable and long-lasting this poverty has become. On a single recent night, over 770,000 Americans lacked stable housing. Imagine the population of a large city removed from housing entirely. Not due to disaster or war, but because living costs exceeded income. These are not people staying outside for one night. They are communities without addresses but with daily rhythms. If a tent city lasts for years and remains temporary by name, what does temporary mean? Beyond tent cities, there are even older hidden communities. They are rarely photographed and rarely discussed. These places are called colonias. They often exist near borders in several southern states. They lack proper housing, clean water, and basic infrastructure. You may see unpaved roads and broken sewage systems there. These places raise a disturbing question about modern America. In Texas alone, around 400,000 people live in over 2,000 colonias. That equals a medium-sized city living without basic services. The danger of colonias is not only poverty. It is their invisibility to the rest of society. They are not seen by tourists or city planners. They exist quietly for decades without attention. Some people are not homeless, yet never truly had a home. Tent cities and colonias appear different but share one reality. They exist outside the formal housing system. The question becomes impossible to ignore. Why does a wealthy nation accept this reality? To answer that, we must look deeper than what cameras show. In one night, over 770,000 Americans lacked stable housing. That number is difficult to imagine clearly. Picture an entire city forced outside housing in silence. No alarms or announcements. Just another normal night. Researchers worry not only about size but speed. This number rose faster than housing construction and population growth. Children are now the fastest growing group among the homeless. Children do not miss rent payments by choice. They are born into fragile systems without buffers. Many homeless people still work daily jobs. They wear uniforms and clock in like everyone else. When their shift ends, they have nowhere to go. They are not dropping out of society. They are slowly slipping while trying to keep up. The cause is not one bad decision. It is how the system is structured. Rent has risen faster than wages for many years. It feels like climbing an escalator moving downward. At first people cut spending. Then they use credit. Then borrowing becomes necessary. A few late bills can collapse everything quickly. Affordable housing supply cannot keep up with demand. Those who fall behind do so quietly. When too many people fall at once, the system breaks. Divorce, layoffs, illness, or disasters become fatal without safety buffers. Life rarely goes according to plan. Many people in crisis still go to work every day. They simply lack room for error. The safety net has holes large enough for families. When children become the fastest growing homeless group, it reflects system design. If one shock can remove housing, how close are many people to the edge? Cities often respond by clearing visible tents. Parks are cleaned and camps are moved. The city looks better, but the problem remains. No new housing is created through displacement. People still need a place to sleep. Without affordable housing, the crisis only moves locations. Short-term actions hide problems instead of solving them. Pressure continues to build beneath the surface. If moving tents worked, why do they return larger each time? Housing has quietly become a luxury item. Life shocks come suddenly, and many people have no buffer to absorb them. The solution often focuses on visible problems, not the deeper foundation underneath. These issues do not exist alone, they connect into a system that is easy to fall from. A small push can send someone off the track and out of stability. When too many people fall, the exception slowly becomes a repeating pattern. America looks like a tall skyscraper shining from the outside. But the emergency stairs are narrow and only work for those who never slip. When a crisis is created by the system itself, blame becomes less important. The real question becomes which solution society chooses to pursue. Do we fix the foundation or keep smoothing the surface for appearances? Now there are no charts and no policy debates. Only people remain, faces that society often avoids looking at too closely. It is not because they are dangerous. It is because looking longer forces uncomfortable questions about ourselves. Let us start in a supermarket parking lot late at night. Old cars sit quietly near the curb with their lights turned off. Inside one car, a family of 4 tries to sleep. 2 children rest in the back seat with their heads on school backpacks. The mother carefully adjusts a blanket to keep her child warm. The father sits in the front seat setting an alarm for tomorrow morning work. They are not giving up or asking for sympathy. They simply have nowhere to go after finishing work. Families with children are now the fastest growing group without stable housing. That means some children you pass every day sleep in cars or cheap motels. What makes this scene unsettling is not a lack of effort or responsibility. It is the strict discipline holding everything together despite missing stability. Children still attend school and parents still show up to work. Everything continues as expected except for one missing piece. That missing piece is a stable roof. If a family does everything society asks, what more does the system demand? Now move a little farther away from that parking lot. An elderly man sits quietly on a park bench holding a plastic bag. Inside are medical papers, old photos, and memories of a normal life. He once had a home and steady income. Over time, healthcare costs rose while rent increased steadily. His fixed income stayed the same, slowly losing ground each year. The change was quiet and gradual, easy to miss at first. Older people rarely attract attention in these situations. They are quiet and invisible, but their story carries a hard truth. Even if you follow every rule your entire life, stability is not guaranteed. The American dream did not collapse suddenly. It cracks slowly with every rising bill. If old age no longer brings safety, who is truly protected? This crisis does not stop with the elderly. Young people working full-time are also affected. In the morning they stand in line beside you. At lunch they eat quickly during short breaks. At night they search for a place to sleep. They work full-time but still cannot afford a home. They are central to the service economy, not outside society. If the people who keep a city running cannot live there, something is wrong. They clean, serve, and operate systems they are excluded from enjoying. When working no longer guarantees housing, stability loses its meaning. Families, elderly people, and young workers all share one reality. They are not outsiders, they are beyond the housing system reach. They are not social failures. They are society when the system has no room left. The scariest part is not the number of people affected. It is how familiar these stories have become. Over time, society stops truly seeing them. If their effort matches yours, what protects you from the same outcome? Now the camera looks up to show two Americas in one frame. One America shows growth, innovation, and opportunity. The other shows quiet survival happening alongside it. The camera does not need to travel far. Both worlds exist in the same place. Screens flash market numbers and technology promises progress. Nearby, families line up for free meals and wash hands with bottled water. There is no chaos or explosion. Only quiet daily survival. These worlds share the same laws and economy. The stock market reaches record highs. Investment in technology continues to rise rapidly. Productivity and profits concentrate at historic levels. America resembles a luxury penthouse that never sleeps. But not everyone is allowed to stay there. Outside that system are hundreds of thousands without stable housing. Children remain the fastest growing group among them. More people work full-time yet cannot afford rent. The economy rises while more people fall behind. Inequality itself is not new. What is new is how separated lives have become. Decisions made far above rarely touch those sleeping in cars. These worlds do not fight, they simply stop seeing each other. The system was designed so sound does not travel upward. In the past, pathways existed between floors of society. Affordable housing and livable wages created balance. As those supports disappear, the distance grows smoother and wider. Not everyone falls, but anyone can slip. If upward paths narrow and downward paths accelerate, what happens next? This video does not force an answer. It only asks you to look long enough. A nation is not measured by tall buildings alone. It is measured by how many can stand securely within it. If these two Americas keep drifting apart, what happens during the next crisis? Which floor are you on, and what truly keeps you there? Thank you for watching until the end.